Yes, it is.
You're happy for it to be recorded, yeah?
Yes.
So once again, good evening, good evening, good evening. I'm so excited. You know how long I've been sat here? I've been sat here for half an hour.
No way.
Yeah, wait, setting up and making sure everything's working okay, and yeah.
Have you done any more? Have you done any more interviews online?
Yeah, I've done. Well, I had 4 in the pipeline. I've done 2 already. Yourself 3, but one person wasn't too keen on the recording. So, but my supervisor said it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It just has to fit the brief, and that's it. Even if it was 1. Yeah, so I'm fine. So welcome to Andii Diamonds 21429
Hello.
Level Mento Talk.
Yes.
The decolonization of Mento-Music. It was towards the musicology of Mento-Music, but as I was reading, I'm seeing how non-Jamaicans are still colonizing our things. So yesterday it was changed towards the decolonization of Mento-Music.
Nice.
Yeah, because the reason for that was all the research wasn't showing accurate information, and people just did it for the hell of their research project, submit it, and it wasn't displaying like true information. Some people say it's that date.
Okay.
Nothing, and hardly any of us do any writing. That's the other thing.
Because it's our gift is spoken word, isn't it?
Right. That's right. Yeah.
Okay.
So, I anticipate this will take about, I don't know, 15, depending on how interesting the discussion is, but 30 minutes max, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. So, can you, before we continue down the road, can you introduce yourself, and then I'm gonna blast you 3 share my screen with you and blast you 3 Mento-Music, and then we can start the discussion. Okay. Excellent. So tell me who you are, what you do for a living.
My name's Marcia Lewinson. I am a CEO of a charity based in Birmingham. The charity is called Women Acting in Today's Society, WAITS for short.
Excellent. Thank you for that. So I'm going to share my screen with you and play you a few seconds of each. So I'll start with the Jolly Boys, Take Me Back to Jamaica.
Take me back to Jamaica, where I was born. Take me back to Jamaica, where I was born, man. Where the green bananas grow, and the river and the flow. Take me back to Jamaica, where I was born. Take me back to the island,
Next one coming up is Blue Glaze Band. They're from Jamaica. It does do that to you, doesn't it?
You know the tunes as well.
Yeah. Next one coming up, Hill and Gully Rider.
Oh, my favorite.
Ilango Ilangole, Ilangole, bend down low. Ilangole, take you bend down low. Ilangole, Ilangole rider, Ilangole rider, Ilangole rider. Somebody take you bend down low. Ilangole, take you bend down low. Ilangole, take you up to the Jugana hill. Ilangole, take you up to the Jugana hill. Ilangole, take you up to the Jugana hill. Ilangole. Oh, Ilangole, Ilangole, Ilangole.
And here we end that. So come, let's talk mental talk now, Marcia, because like I can't stop dancing over here. Yes, let me hear you. Let me hear you. Right. So yeah, can you hear me?
Sorry, I had my mic off. The Mento-Music makes you move.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. That's what it does to everybody who listens to it. I mean, I've got vivid memories of what's me and my mom on the veranda dancing around. So I'm not going to say anything else now. I'm going to make you talk.
Brilliant. Ask away. Ask all your questions.
Yeah. So, okay. So, tell me about your experience with Mento-Music. When did you first hear it? And obviously, what do you still hear Mento today? And have you got concerns that you don't hear it as much?
Okay. So, I don't even know when I would have heard the first time Mento-Music. So I'm assuming that I heard it as a child.
Yeah.
Growing up, you know, with my parents and their gran. And I often hear my mum used to talk about Mento-Music and how she loved to do it.
Yeah.
But I never really seen it, you know, living in England, you don't really see it in action.
Yeah.
And I think when we were 10, we went to Jamaica on holiday when I was about 10.
Okay.
And that's probably when I met my grandparents for the first time. And they lived in a village. And that's when I heard more Mento-Music. And my mum taught us Brown Girl in the Ring.
Girl in the ring.
Ring, la, 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 la. So we learned how to do the dance, and you know, it's kind of like a kids game, isn't it? So the kids in the village taught us it. So yeah, it just brings me back to childhood and going to Jamaica for the first time and meeting all family.
Yeah.
And that whole culture shift that happens.
Yeah. Yeah. So how was it for you? Did you, because when I got there, I took off my shoes. I took my shoes off straight away. And my mom was going, no, man, you just come from England the other day. We catch cold. You will catch cold in your
right. That's right. I think we were a bit more sedate because we were little girly girls, me and my sister.
Yeah.
But in later years, I went to live in Jamaica when my oldest was about 11. And just like you, she was gone.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Running up and down on the stones with the rest of the kids.
Yeah. Yeah. So can you associate Mento with any other form of music?
I associate to like early calypso music.
Okay.
And gospel music, you know, in the church. They're still playing Mento-Music when they're singing their choruses and their hymns.
That's
It's to a Mento beat.
Yeah, absolutely. And you've just compared to the other interviews, you've put the church spin on it, which is
that's right.
True.
Yeah.
Because
I think that's because when I lived in Jamaica and went to church over there and heard how their services run, and then going to service occasionally over here, especially Black church.
Yeah.
You hear it.
Yeah. Because there's so many different pockets of this Mento-Music, you know, because you got things like Dinky Mini and Jankono and there's absolutely loads of them. Gombe.
And is that to do with the islands?
Yes. In some areas, particularly arcade, for instance, in Westmoreland, because we've got strong connections with Nigerians, and a lot of people don't know that we've got strong connections with Nigerians, and we do have people with direct descendants of Nigerians in Jamaica. Like we've got Jews, just like we've got Germans, the Chinese, Japanese, etc. It's the same Nigerians.
Right.
They've got their little pockets of subcultures specific to different areas, and that's why the musicologists of today try to break it up in areas. But as you know, it keeps
evolving and changing.
So you still got different offshoots of it. Then you've got Ghanaian roots, because a lot of our parents came from the Gold Coast, islands of the Caribbean. Then before the Arawaks, there was the Taino people, which is a strong culture today. It's a massive subject, and like by no way this study could cover everything, but it's a start. So what do you think are the stakes for its survival? Has it got a chance? Are we doing enough? Particularly in the UK, I know they're doing quite a bit I picked up from the other interviews in Jamaica to preserve mental culture and stuff like that. What's your thoughts?
I think if I mention Mento to it, my children, my grandchildren, or my great-grandchildren, they wouldn't know what it is. So I think it's got, it is at risk of dying out, because it's up to my generation now to tell my children, but if I don't, it may go. So I don't think the church associates it, calls it Mento gospel or whatever. And it would be good if they did, because then it would get recognition.
That's right. And in my time, the rest of my time here on earth, that's what I'm trying to do. I mean, I was part of still actually part of a group called Jam Folk, and it's a group of there's probably about 10 of us, 8 ladies and a guitarist and a drummer. It's only because of lockdown and everything why we weren't active anymore. Our beautiful costumes, and we still do folk songs and stuff like that. And and then I've got them together to do like an all-female mental band for the purposes of this project, which I'm going to I'll have to send you some video so you can see. I think it's brilliant. And as far as I hear, we are the only one in the last 30 odd years that does this on a people do it, but not to the level that we do. Also, we do poetry, we do all sorts of different
I think it's really important, because I think, you know, now people are more culturally aware, and more organizations are doing like Black history or Black, you know, Caribbean stuff. It's your time now, really.
It is. I mean, like even now I bought some big charts and everything, because my son asked me, Mom, how comes I don't know well, he never met his grandparents, because his grandparents weren't alive when he was born, but certainly it could. So I've given him pictures of what I did. I went through my album, and I printed off like his grandma, grandfather, you know, my great grandma, pictures that and I've given them to him, and he's got them. So that's a start. But he wants me to tell him who's where, who's how many children.
That's right. And you did what? Hopefully, God willing, taking my grandkids to Jamaica next year to a family reunion.
Excellent.
So they're going to get to see the family that come from all over the world and everything.
Oh, brilliant. Okay. So that's your little contribution in handing a bit, because they'll get curious and then they'll start asking questions and they'll want to know more, won't they? Yeah. So what do you think? Is Mento a culture, a traditional folklore, or all of them with like varying
culture, a tradition, or folklore?
Just wanted to get your
I would say folklore.
Okay.
Because it tells stories. I think culture, it's not it's not embedded in the culture to be culture, because reggae to me is culture, isn't it?
Right. Okay.
And then is it tradition? Is it tradition? No, because the traditions are not really carried on. So it's definitely folklore.
Yeah. Okay. So in my observation, I came across a very interesting piece of information that I always had in my head long time ago, but I never expressed it and I never talked about it. So mental music has always been played by men. Why do you think that's the case?
Why was it always played? Because I think men were allowed.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So the women would be busy in the house, in the fields, doing whatever. Whereas if it's coming back from the plantation days, you'd have your minstrels, you certain people that would travel around. Yes. So I think traditionally, especially if it was an oral tradition or a storytelling tradition, I think that would go down to men back in the day. I think women would still be involved, but I think primarily it's men.
Because I feel like men played mento in women's folk songs. The clear difference. You feel about that, but for me,
you think that's because the men were playing instruments?
Yeah, and the women focus because me no wa go see tan tan let me tell you, tan 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 let me tell you, tan 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 let me tell you, bitter cassava kill me some brown.
Wow. Wow.
Kill me some brown. Bitter cassava kill me some brown. And let me tell you what it kill me some brown. I know hundreds of these things, you know. I know so many of them, so they can't go to waste.
It'd be interesting one day to find out who was Mr. Brown. Do you know what I mean? Because I don't know if you've ever heard this, it's a bit rude. My brother told me this, but it's supposed to be a true fact. This person that died and is buried in on the way to Montego Bay, Mary Lee.
Yeah.
And it says, this is what's written on her grave. May fart roam free because it killed Mary Lee. And he said it's written on the tombstone.
It comes in the top for Mary Lee.
That's right. You know what I mean? And so, you know, those traditions, there's probably a song about Mary Lee and what happened to her. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And it's a true thing.
Yes. Yes, that is true. It was always a story. They were always telling a story. Oh, the men would be kind of subtly, they would express the kind of sexual innuendos and, you know, the women and yeah, it was always, so maybe that wouldn't be an environment for a woman to be.
No. And I can imagine when they're performing, they'd be performing in the bars. Bars and stuff where women wouldn't frequent them places anyway.
That's right. It's only when we started talking about women's lib and stuff like that that kind of, you know, come to the fore and stand our ground, because maybe the men were playing too much music and didn't have time to represent us, because Mento-Music was a kind of a protest.
Right, as well.
Yeah. Because, you know, we were banned from speaking up about issues that affected us. So singing it wasn't a crime, was it?
No, and they could dress it up because they make it sound nice, but really they're sending coded messages.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
Another interesting thing with me and Mento, when my grandparents died in the 90s, and I was over there and they had like set up a night.
Yeah.
And I remember because they had some men come, they were like minstrels, that they heard that somebody, you know, it was night, and they come and there was knocking drum and then they're playing the Mento, and that was the first time I'd seen or heard real traditional Jamaican music since I was a kid.
Yeah. Brilliant. We used to go to the wake, and then you'd have the Christian women, because some things what they carry on with them call it jumping gerry.
Yeah.
So some things what is involved in jumping gerry is not for the Christian men. So they would have in one of the bedrooms, they'd have a group of Christian women singing psalms, hymns, and spiritual songs. And then you'd have people like me out of door with the man them.
That's it. That's it.
I don't get it.
I don't get it.
Yes.
Wow.
And carry on with some things and then gyrate and
that's it.
Go down Emmanuel Road, Galamba, figure broke Crackstone, Galamba. And now him when broke Mass Charlie.
You know the game for that?
Yeah, I know the games. Yeah. I got my little bricks that I use and everything.
What's it called?
It's a Gere song. It's a Gere song. And literally, it talks about days of history when people used to break stones.
Mm-hmm.
And what the slaves used to get people to do, they used to get them to sit on large piles of stones.
Yeah.
And use a hammer to break them down into pebbles so that they could make roads for the donkeys to bring out the produce to the market. So they brought them one by one. Girls and boys brought them 2 by 2. Girl and boy brought them 3 by 3. Girl and boy lick your finger, no bex. Cause I play with they play.
So in the 70s, when we used to have the power cuts, remember the power cuts?
Yes, I remember.
That's when my dad taught us that game.
Okay.
So we sit down in a circle with the candlelight and we'd be singing that. But the object was just to mash the other person's finger.
Yeah. I actually, I've got jam folk doing that. So I'll send you a couple of videos so you can have a look what we've been.
But you just see, now without talking, I remember, I don't know nothing about Mento. But yeah, I've just recounted the Jamaican. And my dad playing, when you sang that, and then you said mash finger, I went, that was it.
Yeah.
You had to mash the other person's finger.
Yeah.
And sing the song.
That's right.
So my dad taught me Mento as well. I thought it was just mommy.
Yeah. It's just bringing back that memory. Because like when we got lots of fans. And you see, when we go to do performances, oh Lord, the feedback is phenomenal. Like, you know what? She forgets that she did have pain in her knee.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it's the first time they've seen their loved one smile and loosen up, because it just does that thing too.
That's right.
Yeah. So yeah.
So you know the costume that they would wear, is that where they would wear the plaid?
Yes.
Okay.
That is so the dress that Louis Bennett wears, if you know Louis Bennett, that's the kind of, it's plaid, or they call it gingham, or you use gingham, which is a plaid.
Mm-hmm.
And we use calico to make the skirts and the head wrap or straw hats or whatever. But yeah, quite a few.
I remember once I was in the guides.
Yeah.
And, you know, the brownies and the guides. And we did some event. I remember mommy dressing us up like that.
Yeah.
But I could never understand that when they said, go and get me the plaid skirt. I didn't know what that meant. Plaid, you know.
Yeah, because we used to use, tell you what, back in the day. Tartan, that's right. And another thing that we used to use as well, when the goods truck bring the flour bag every week, as soon as the flour was finished, everybody wants a flour, because the flour bags, they were white, thick, and people would use it to make pillowcases and sheets.
All right.
And even clothes for the man them go bushy, you know. So,
yeah.
So it's been exciting. I mean, our parents took us home when I was 9, my sister was 8, and my brother was 6.
Mm-hmm.
I tell you, it was a total adventure.
Yes, it is. And I always said that kids from here should go home. Yeah. I mean, I emigrated, so my kids was lucky that they experienced for a couple of years going to school, running up and down, and, you know, living out there. Yeah,
I sent my son there when he was 7.
Mm-hmm.
When he's around 14, 15, thereabouts. Yeah.
Really?
Sent him home. Stayed with my sister. Loved it. Yeah, absolutely loved it. Yeah.
It makes them who they are.
Yeah.
Because over here they can get too spoiled and too complacent.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
That's right. Because when you go to Jamaica, it's a struggle. You see people struggle, but it doesn't get them down, and it doesn't dampen their ambition to strive towards their goals, does it?
No. You can live in a one shack and only have one pair of shoes that you wear to church on Sunday, and you're happy.
That's right. And people bungle up Then buy this something this week and then bungle it up and send it to the charity shop, or they sell it to people taking it to sell in Africa and all. It's so wrong, isn't it?
It is. It is.
Yeah. So yeah, let me just look down my list and see what else I need to ask you. Yeah, have you got any additional comments that you want to add? Oh, I wanted to run this past you. So my overarching framework for my studies is by a guy called Daniel Neely. Daniel Neely is an white Irish guy. He's a musicologist, but he has a keen interest in Mento-Music. And I've read a couple of his publications, and yeah, he may state some facts, what he's picked up along the way with his research, but he's so far from connected to our heritage. Like, he doesn't understand the colonial part of what we've inherited, the pain and the hurt and the humiliation. And even today, how we struggle. Like, he wouldn't struggle if he go to Jamaica. He'd have people doing for him. And how we struggle to just to survive, really. And it's a constant trudge, fight, fallout, resources not being available and stuff like that. Yeah. So what are your thoughts?
So are you asking me what's my thoughts on Mr. Leary?
Yeah, on
approach to Mento-Music.
Yeah. So he says Mento is a tradition that encapsulates music, dance, storytelling, cuisine, fashion, poetry, framed in folklore, and deeply ingrained in the dislocation of Jamaica's colonial history. Shall I read it again because it's a bit long?
I got that. So, because you asked me a question earlier about whether it was tradition, culture, or what's it, whatever it was. We said it was we said it was folklore.
Yeah.
So, what is there any food attached to it?
Yeah, he says cuisine. He says music.
So this is what he says, but for us,
yeah,
is there any of that attached to it?
So I didn't see food attached to Mento lifestyle.
No, me. I mean, if it was true, then because we come from there, somewhere down the line, somebody would have said, this is the food we eat a Mento dance, so this is Mento food, or this is how what you wear when you got to Mento. Thinking about, do you know what I mean? But it isn't like that. It's not, like the Muds.
Yeah.
The Muds have their outfit, they have the music, they have the motorbike, they have the fish and chips, they have the beach. So that's culture, that's tradition, that's music, that's everything, right? I mean, I don't know, you might know better than me, having studied it, but for me, sitting here, with a limited knowledge of Mento, I don't see that. I see it more as a music of the time. A bit like, like you had Negro spirituals. And then for the time, and then it changed and it changed and it changed and it changed. So I think it's like that.
Okay. So I had to think of it. When I read this, I thought, I wonder. So, and it only sprung to mind when, was it Eunice's granddaughter's christening? Somebody asked me, no, it was another christening, and somebody said to me, why do you never deviate from curry goat, stew chicken, rice and peas, coleslaw?
It's probably me. I always have that conversation as well, because I don't like them to offer them things.
So, and every Sunday, going back to growing up in Jamaica, every Sunday, without fail, it was stew chicken or curry goat, rice and peas, yam banana dumpling.
That's right.
And every Saturday, as long as me can remember, is this Saturday soup.
That's right. The different type of soup. Gungo peas soup, chicken soup, mutton soup, pumpkin soup, every soup. Do you know what I mean? But you know, that this is a thing. I always said if I had the money or the resources to open a shop,
Yeah.
that I would, because everybody talks about jerk chicken now.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Jerk pork. Oh, right. What
That.
happened to ackee and saltfish?
Exactly.
What happened to rundown? What happened to you know, we used to cook steak and cook it the brown street and cook it down. What happened to, you know, there's a whole load of Jamaican recipes that means you don't have to have rice and peas every Sunday.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? I was married to Jamaican Indians.
Yeah.
So you've got a whole different culture of food that they used to cook.
Yeah.
Same as us.
Yeah.
But then they would do them curry chicken. Them had this thing called pumpkin achar, where it's saltfish and pumpkin and you cook it down.
Yeah.
You know, and it's hard to many one people, isn't it?
That's right.
You know?
Yeah.
So I remember being there cooking pork with ginger, you know what I mean, or whatever.
My mom's landy was full of turmeric, and she used to give it.
Yeah.
Used to give
turmeric. And you know, now I don't, you know, like they have the Dunn's River and all kind of seasoning in the packet or in the tub.
Yeah.
I stopped using them because they got coriander in it, and I hate coriander. It's like if I smell coriander, I don't like it.
Yeah.
So I've gone back to, like, when I'm cooking curry, say, using the turmeric powder.
Yeah.
And I call it wedding curry. It come in, like, you know, back in when we were kids and our parents used to cook, because I never had all them seasoning.
Exactly.
Isn't it? They never have the all-purpose and chicken seasoning and all of that.
Exactly.
Right? Them just have them turmeric, garlic, black pepper, black.
Salt and then black pepper.
And I could like that now. My kids goes, Mom, that's wedding curry. Me say, me no. Wedding curry, like, you know, we go wedding.
Yeah.
You lick your finger. The pepper bun you.
we used to have on a Saturday morning, we used to have ackee and saltfish and boiled banana.
Mm-hmm.
A big long cup of chocolate.
Chocolates. When them great at the chocolates.
And in the week, because you can't afford them nice things in the week. So we used to have one big lump of bread.
Yes. And you can't condense milk or your chocolate tea, and you dip it in, or you dip the crackers in the chocolate tea before you go to your bed. Right? Do you know what I mean? And we used to have the pork hock and rice and all them little offcuts, but they were nice.
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing that I remember I used to love it because my mom used to plant yam, and she used to have acres of this thing. She had white yam, Negro yam, Afu yam, all kind of yam. Then she had peas and pumpkin and everything. Then she used to get the guys come round, but the guys, them no want no money. So my mom she used to have these mugs were big like chimney.
I remember chimney.
Yes, so she used to have these drinking mugs literally big like paw pots, yeah. And as long as them get them big pot of chocolate tea and one big hunk of bread, them we did
work all day.
Work all day. And then we used to have like roast yam and roast saltfish for still on the farm. And then my mom used to make this big almighty dumpling, them big like the plate. Cartwheel dumpling.
Cartwheel dumpling. Wow.
Yeah. So yeah, you meet sharing enough memories. Memories. Yeah. So is there any questions that you'd like to ask me to close on?
Yes, I think probably, I know you probably got introduced to Mento when you was in Jamaica, but what made you keep it up? Your passion in it?
I think firstly when I was captured by the music, and when we were at school, we used to attend the annual festivals, and that would be quadrille dances. We used to do choral speaking, Miss Lou's poetry, drama, storytelling, art, and every year me have to go a festival, go dance, and we win like medals and things and go to the next round and the next round. and to national. So for me, I grew up in it.
That's right, yeah.
We used to have a teacher named Mrs. Baker. She taught us all the songs we know. She used to teach us the cooking, how to curry goat, how to cook. She was like our second mom at school.
Wow.
Then when I came back to the UK with my son, who was very young at the time, shock, horror, there was nothing that represented us in the classroom. She just took me for herself. I said to her, the headmistress, I said, Miss, would it be okay if I come and tell a few Anansi stories? And
yeah, I love Anansi.
Can, show them the dances. By that time, I was already playing the guitar, could play the drum, play the guitar. So I learned self-taught back home. And she said, yeah, please do. It'd be really nice. And you see what that bought me my first brand new house, and that bought me my first brand new car. I never stopped. Never stopped. I had contracts rolling out my ears to go to different schools. Some schools I'd stay there for 6 weeks and do like a group of schools, and then we put on performances. So, and then when my son, it is important for my son to know and see doing these things, so that my grandchildren, hopefully when I get some grandchildren, those things will be handed down to him.
Amazing.
Drag him to all the performances, drag him to all the rehearsals.
That's right. Wow.
That's how my interest got in when I first arrived in Jamaica, and then it just carried on from when I came back. And yeah, I've done all sorts. I've got awards that I've received for my work and stuff like that.
That's amazing. I'm just thinking, definitely mentor dancing on the 30th anniversary.
Yes.
Definitely. I have to have a performance on stage. Just to bring it back out and let people know.
Yeah, that's right. Because I want to start doing, like how the Nigerians and the Indians wear their traditional to events.
Yeah.
We should do the same.
Yeah, because we've gone backward. We've gone a step further because we were African, but we're forgetting, and I know there was this thing in the 80s about, Bakra country and slave master and blah, blah, but it's still our heritage.
Yeah, that's right.
It's still our heritage.
That's right. And that's what Louise Bennett's work was all about. She tried to bring back Jamaican culture from the shame of it. And encourage people to be proud of who they are and where they're coming from, because that's what makes you who you are. And
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Oh.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Oh, that was good. That wasn't pain. I knew more than I thought I knew.
It's been absolutely brilliant speaking to you, Marcia. Thank you so much for your contribution. Honestly, I'm gonna treasure this anyway.
Yes.
What I'll do, I will, because I've recorded it to the cloud, so I'll send you back a copy so you can keep it for your reference.
Oh, thank you. That's really kind of you. Wonderful.
Yeah. I really appreciate your contribution. It's going to go a long way into my assignment, and honestly, I'm thinking of making these talks a regular feature, part of what I do.
Especially like this month, it's Black History Month. Do you know what I mean?
Conversation going.
Yeah.
Even me, I was shy. I mean, when you put me on the stage, I am a different person. But naturally, I'm shy. People say you're going to lie, but naturally, I'm a very reserved. When I'm I want to come home, and I love being at home.
Yeah, and me.
And I shy away from certain things. But when you put me on the stage, oh Lord,
you just shine.
Yes. So yeah, thank you so much, and really appreciate your contribution, and thanks for taking the time. And
all right, darling.
To do, so I'm gonna let you get on with it.
Thank you, hon. Yes. Thank you. And let me know you get on.
I will do.
I've enjoyed it. I've really enjoyed that.
Me. I've enjoyed talking to you. Thank you.
Thanks, hon. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.